Have you ever looked at someone and felt anger rise in you, not because they truly wronged you, but because something about their reaction, their silence, or even their smile, touched a place inside you that was never healed? This is where real understanding begins. Because if you go deep enough, you will always find. Behind every confusing adult is a frightened child. Behind every defense is a story of pain. And behind every judgment we carry is something we have not yet understood in ourselves. Let us begin. What most people call personality is often just protection. The man who seeks praise in every room was once a boy who only felt loved when he was impressive. The woman who cannot trust others was once a girl who learned that closeness ends in pain. The friend who controls every detail was once a child who grew up in chaos and decided control meant survival. As one elder once said, behind every fear is a child who did not feel safe. This is the truth we rarely speak. That most adults are not choosing their reactions. They are repeating them. And what looks like confidence may be a shield. What looks like coldness may be fear. What looks like rudeness may be a wound flinching at old pain. To read someone, truly, you must begin not with what they show, but with what shaped them. Because until a child feels safe, the adult cannot relax. But here is where it gets harder. Because the person you are trying to read is not just them. It is you. Nietzsche once said, all great judgments are confessions. What we react to in others is rarely about them. It is about us. You may feel irritation when someone interrupts. But ask, do I feel unseen? You may feel admiration when someone speaks boldly. But ask, what part of me wishes I could do the same? You may feel the urge to fix someone who is emotionally unavailable. But ask, am I trying to rescue a version of myself I could not save? Every person we are drawn to, every person we fear, every person we try to correct, is a reflection of our own emotional history. We do not just read others. We use them as mirrors. And when we become aware of this, something shifts. The trigger becomes a teacher. The discomfort becomes an invitation. And the other person becomes a path back to our own truth. So why do we read people? Not to control them. Not to stay one step ahead. Not to manipulate or judge. We read people so we can stop fighting ghosts. So we can stop personalizing pain that was never meant for us. So we can see the wound instead of reacting to the scar. True understanding is not about intellect. It is about compassion. Because once you truly understand someone's fear, you no longer take their defenses personally. Once you see their pain, you stop asking, what is wrong with them? And begin to ask, what happened to them? As the elders said, do not try to fix the wound. Just offer warm company. Because most people do not need to be told who they are. They need someone who can sit with them, without needing to change the silence. Understanding does not mean agreeing. It means seeing clearly. And choosing to respond with presence, not pressure. This is not weakness. This is power in its gentlest form. We often think healing is about fixing. But some things are not broken. They are just wounded. And the most powerful shift you can make is to stop resisting what is there. To say, yes, I have fear. Yes, I was hurt. Yes, I overreact sometimes. But I will no longer shame myself for protecting what was once endangered. True strength is not pretending we are flawless. It is allowing room for our flaws to exist without self-hatred. As the elders said, the strongest person is not the one without fear, but the one who can face that fear with compassion. Acceptance is not giving up. It is creating space for what is real, so that healing has somewhere to land. In part 1, we learned to listen to silence. In part 2, we saw that silence hides fear. Now, in part 3, we learn to listen with something more powerful than ears. We listen with presence. Because most people do not say what hurts. They show it. In the words they avoid. In the topics they rush past. In the moments they shut down when love gets too close. And when you listen without interrupting, without fixing, without judging, something sacred happens. The other person begins to feel safe. And safety is what removes the mask, not pressure. To read someone deeply, you must stop listening for answers. And start listening for wounds that have never had words. This is how elders taught, not through advice, but through stillness. They sat beside pain without turning away. And in that stillness, others began to remember who they were before the fear. So here is what I offer you now. You do not need to be perfect to understand someone. You do not need a degree in psychology. You only need one thing, compassion. Because the truth is, everyone is doing the best they can, with the map they were given. Some of those maps were drawn in war zones. Some in silence. Some in homes, where love had rules and fear was familiar. You do not need to fix the map. You just need to walk beside them while they redraw it. Because true understanding is not passive. It is the quiet force that builds bridges in places where people have only known walls. And sometimes, the most powerful thing you can say is not, "I understand you," but, "You are safe with me, even if I do not." So next time you are tempted to label someone as cold, needy, arrogant, distant, or too much, pause. Ask what wound you are seeing. Ask what part of you is reacting. And ask what compassion might look like in this moment. Because in the end, reading people is not about decoding them. It is about softening. Until you are no longer reacting from your past, and no longer punishing theirs. That is the compassion of true understanding. And that is the wisdom we carry forward.